Hi, I'm David Sabino Coy III, and I'd like to read to you today from Romans 11, verses 11 through 16. It's entitled Engrafted Branches. And again I ask, did they stumble so as to fall beyond recovery? Not at all. Rather, because of their transgressions, salvation has come to the Gentiles to make Israel envious. But if their transgression means riches for the world and their loss means riches for the Gentiles, how much greater riches will their full inclusion bring? I am talking to you Gentiles, inasmuch as I am the apostle to the Gentiles. I take pride in my ministry in the hope that I may somehow arouse my own people to envy and save some of them. For if their rejection brought reconciliation to the world, then what will their acceptance be but life from the dead? And if the part of the dough offered as fruits first is holy, then the whole batch is holy, and the root is holy. So are the branches. And it goes on to say that if some of the branches have been broken off, and you, though a wild olive shoot, have been grafted in among others, and now share in the nourishing sap from the olive root, do not consider yourself to be superior to those other branches. If you do, consider this: you do not support the root, but the root supports you. You will say then, branches were broken off so that I could be grafted in. Granted, but they were broken off because of unbelief, and you stand by faith. Do not be arrogant, but tremble. For God did not spare the natural branches, he will not spare you either. Consider therefore the kindness and the sternness of God, sternness to those who fell, but kindness to you, provided that you continue in his kindness. And if they do not persist in unbelief, they will be grafted in, for God is able to graft them in again. After all, if you were cut off an olive tree that is wild by nature and contrary to nature were grafted into a cultivated olive tree, how much more readily will these, the natural branches, be grafted into their own new olive tree? That is Romans chapter 11, verses 11 through 24 in total. Now, the verse that I caught my eye that I wanted to share with you is, for if their rejection leads to the reconciliation of the world, what will their acceptance be but life from the dead? That is believing in the new covenant. Now, engrafted refers to the process of inserting a plant scion into another for propagation, or figuratively fixing something firmly, such as a concept, habit, or entity into another. It implies joining, embedding, or planting something foreign, making it a permanent part of a native stock. Usage examples: horticulture. The gardener engrafted the peach scion into the plum tree, allowing them to grow as one. Figurative and religious, the Apostle Paul describes the Gentiles as being engrafted into the olive tree, a metaphor for sharing the spiritual nourishment for Israel. Deep rooted and fixed, the value of integrity was engrafted into the company's core culture, defining their work. Surgery, the living tissue was successfully engrafted, becoming part of the surrounding established tissue, which is acceptance. Key characteristics, meaning it involves creating a wound to insert a new piece for a long-term growth and union. Metaphorical use represents deep-seated, enduring qualities, i.e., engrafted love, or merging new elements into a system. Origin. The term is associated with older usage, often seen in theological contexts such as Romans 11. So therefore, what I'm trying to help you understand is that you can hold on to that discriminating, judgmental eyesight that allows you to see something and right away your mind goes to the negative. Or you can literally close your eyes, listen to the lesson, and understand that that is God speaking to you. And if you cannot take that leap by blind faith and return to your father's recycled faith, your mother's recycled faith, yeah, you're going to have to learn something about God you never had to learn before or accept or deal with. But when it comes to saving your life, what does God have to look like in order for you to understand that acceptance is not that hard? And when it comes to dealing with asymptomatic symptoms, cancer, COVID-19, whatever the case, it's not that difficult, and it's just a matter of you being somewhere by yourself, closing your eyes and praying that prayer and asking Jesus Christ to come into your life and show you the way. And no matter what it brings, God did not create anything for us that we can't go through by forcing us into it. You're a lot stronger than you think. And your prayer works, because prayer teaches the temperaments of patience, understanding, and that what you think you need is really what you want. So when you pray to God and you ask in the name of David Sabino Cuellar III, the only thing that you will get is what you actually need, because that is the will of God. And that is deliverance from sickness, restoration to be in good health, and to understand that, yes, we are making poor choices, and we are at a point in our evolution where every decision we make matters, from smoking cigarettes to drinking alcohol to doing drugs to having unprotected sex to having promiscuousness in our blood. You know what I mean? Especially where drugs comes involved, because you might do something and then that sex drive kicks in, and then you full throttle, and then you want to be on top and he wants to be on the bottom, and then you flip and switch. But I mean, if you didn't say I do, wear protection. Do something for you. God loves you. God doesn't want you to act the way you've been acting. God does not want you to blaspheme against his throne like you have. But it's all a choice. And I'm David Sabino Cuellar III, and I am the advocate, and all I am trying to do is save lives. So if for their rejection leads to the reconciliation of the world, which is plainly seen in our day-to-day lives, in the open society of America, you see alcoholics drinking, you see drug users using, and I mean in plain sight. That degrades us as a society because we allow it. But what will their acceptance be but from life from the dead? So if you don't understand that it doesn't take anyone else in your life to save you but you, to be somewhere by yourself and to pray that simple prayer, then maybe you just like it the way it is. Rocky roads and rough and tough. A glutton for punishment I used to be, but not anymore, because God showed me I am somebody. And no matter what anybody tells me, as long as I can get on this phone and broadcast and deliver these messages, no matter how I look, I don't care. Call me Snagita, call me what you want, honey. When they're going to yank, when they yank all these out, I'll just be a gummy bear like everybody else, okay? So it doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter what I look like. The point in the game of life is survival. And that's all I can do, is give you the information and let you make a choice Just don't choose the wrong penance. Have a good day.